Hello, good day to everyone. We are day 21 on our Talk 10 for 30. And it's kind of the fourth quarter here. It's the, not that I really care about football. Sorry for the ones that do, but we're kind of getting up the end of this 30 days here. This is the last part of it, these last 10 days. And I'm excited that we're on day 21. I'm excited that we have 9 days left. I'm excited. Who knows what's gonna come next? I know that even within the last 20 days, there's been a lot of momentum, a lot of good feedback, and I think that there's a lot of value in these little clips, in these little videos. And you're getting to know me and you're getting to know yourself. Okay, so let's keep it going. And so yesterday I spoke of change. Okay, and I took care of myself yesterday. I tuned in with myself, connected with myself, especially after coming from a busy weekend and a busy few weeks. Actually, I haven't really been doing too much self-reflection and just kind of being with my thoughts and my energy, and I like to do this. So topic on change yesterday, there was more to say, and there's always more to say, right? And but I was sitting with it last night, and what was kind of coming in for me, I call it my downloads, I call it my guidance system. Just kind of tapping into the collective. And I really do, when I'm in these moments, I like to lead with my heart. I like to lead with my intuition, not so much my head. Actually, I try to really completely quiet the mind, because the ego gets into that head chatter. The ego sits on the shitty committee that I speak of. So when I'm in moments of meditation or in moments of self-reflection, whether I'm in nature, and I connect in my heart. Okay, I try to stay out of the head. I know that's tough, but with practice and with conscious practice, it does get easier. All right. And many of you throughout the last year, 2 years, 10 years, everybody's story is different, of course, have been recognizing your areas to adjust, recognizing and doing that self and life inventory, like I spoke of yesterday in regards to change. And what was coming in for me yesterday was people are still feeling numb. People are still, although they are doing the things that are recommended, of course, and if we're seeing our counselors, and many of us do go to therapy and go to mentors, whether that's within our church, and we're still feeling numb came up for me. It's this numb disconnect, and that anxiety is still there. And even just simple tasks like going to a meeting, or even coffee with a friend, or meeting up with a friend. Now we're starting to do that. Within the last couple of years, we haven't, the collective has been cautious about being with people, physically being with people. We've been in fear the last couple of years, and that alone is one of the lowest energies that you can be in. So that paralyzes you in general. But now that we're reconnecting physically, there's a lot of anxiety around that. And, you're checking in with yourself to saying, I am using the mindfulness. I am doing what my counselor or therapist or my self-help. I follow a self-help group. There's so much self-help these days, but I'm really still not, I'm still feeling anxious. Just the littlest tasks really do take everything out of me, and I'm not connected to myself. I'm feeling numb. And I feel like we need to hear this today. And as I was in my own in my own container yesterday with my guides, I very much connect with my guides and my angels, and just the energy. I talked about that quantum physics because it's all energy. And once I get, for me, they come in as words. Either it's a sentence or just a word, and then I'll ask for some clarification. So for me, it was numbness. I'm thinking, yes, I'm tired, but I'm not feeling numb. But as I reflected and really tapped in, I was able to pick up on exactly what that may be. And we have the reason why, okay, and this is my thought on this, my stance on this. I'm going to have a little bit of a tough talk with you today. Why we are feeling disconnected and anxious around people, like I just our everyday people, the simplest tasks here. We're feeling anxiety, we're feeling disconnected, and we don't understand why. Okay. And really what that looks like, in my opinion, is we have become numb to our feelings for decades. And we have been told for decades, told what to do by our parents, told what to do by our peers, told what to do by our systems across the board. And so when somebody is coming in with information, and this is even with our counselors or therapists, our recommended self-help for mental health. But so much of that has come outside of ourselves. That's up here. And when we are constantly making whole health choices on our mental health, okay, so physically, it's an operating system per se. But once we are constantly getting physical guidance, mental guidance, emotional guidance, all that, it's all outside of ourselves. It's been years, for as long as I've been around, and according to the feedback that I've been getting throughout the decades, it's very much in consensus to that. And what happens when we do all the do's? Do this and you'll feel this. Do this or take this and you will find relief in this or ease in this. And then you're still saying, no, I'm not feeling no ease. I'm not feeling no relief, or it's minimal. And there's periods of time that sure I'm content, but I'm right back to where I was within hours or days. And because we have been so focused on everybody else and what their opinions are on how we should live our life, we've been taught to absorb this feedback, these recommendations. It's with our head. We're completely disconnected to our heart, which is our intuition. I call it my conscious compass within Turnleaf. And that is really the ability to discern between what feels, not what thinks, what feels right and wrong. And the collective has been operating on this. So we've been completely disconnected with our heart. And our heart is our inner guidance system. That conscious compass is our inner guidance system. By all means, we can take, right, even where I'm at right now, you can take the platform that I'm using right now, you can take what I say and do what you will with it. But please, if I projected any message in any way, if I've said anything to you, if you can absorb anything from me within these last 21 days, it is your ability to connect with yourself. You can take everybody else's recommendations and what you should be doing, but you are the ultimate decision maker. And so because we've been so disconnected with our hearts, with our intuition, that ego, which lives up here, higher self is here, light is here, ego is here. Ego is the one that says, please everyone before you please yourself. Take their recommendations. And then next time you see them, you can go back to them and say, oh my goodness, I took your recommendation and I'm a complete different person. And really checking in with yourself, chances are that's not the truth. But then you feed the other, your therapist's ego, your doctor's ego, your friend's ego. And it then again loops you back into feeling numb, that anxiety. Okay. And what happens is, and I speak of this quantum piece, is it's energy first. So when you say, I'm still feeling numb, I'm still feeling anxious, I'm still not connected, it's because in the conversations, interactions, the purpose, the work that you are doing, there's an energy there. So you could put yourself in these environments, in these relationships, in these conversations. But there is an energy there that speaks a lot louder and emits that frequency a lot louder than your words. Okay. So, and if we can get out of our heads so much, so we're having a conversation with a friend, colleague, and you're leading with that, with your head and saying, you know, whatever the content is, let's just say there's, I don't know, it's a low vibe conversation, but these are really good friends of yours. This is typically the tone and the rhythm of how you speak. And you're kind of numb to it, really. That's what keeps on coming to me. It's just, there's no challenging your friends or the topic. There's no saying, well, I disagree with what is said, especially if gossip is involved. Or many times what comes up in the work that I do is the clients will, especially at the beginning, the clients will come in and say, I have seen and I have heard and I have been through so much, there's no help for me. And so if that is the conversation, that is the energy that they're bringing to the table, to the conversation, then that's what the opportunities and the energies that they're going to get back. If you think that you've seen so much and been through so much that there's no help for you, that alone in itself is a huge warning sign on exactly what story is front and center. And I call bullshit on it. Okay? That's the victim consciousness that we are sitting in. And see, what's happening is those stories, those people, those things that happened are because I'm here today. And I'm talking about trauma sometimes that has happened 20 years ago. All right. And that is the commander of our life. And so when you sit there, and I save space for it. I absolutely save space for it. But I also challenge that narrative and say, well, you want to be over here, but then you're holding this story and saying, there's no help for me. Look what I've been through. The victim conscious party is coming to an end. And we need to start checking in with what we're responsible for today. Okay, so getting out of that head and getting into your heart. Now we forgot how to check in with how we feel about scenarios. And then trusting, it's really a quantum warning. And me with the quantum physics, if you've seen, I think it was probably on day 3 or 4, quantum physics is the energies around us that emit into our fields, into our hearts. And that's why many of us are saying, wow, I have done so many good things within the last couple of years. I've worked on this, I've worked on that, I've done this, I've done this, I've done that. My life coach had recommended this. And by all means, that's absolutely not wasted. But then you're coming back to this feeling of something's missing still, something's numb still. And it's you. You are missing. Literally, even visually, and when you are feeling like you just can't put your finger on why, like I said, we don't have all the answers, but this has all the answers. This never has all the answers. This always, always has all the answers. And so when we can literally tune into, I'm looking at the scenario and I'm not sure exactly why I'm feeling so numb or anxious. Go into your heart. Get into the heart, which is your feeling center, your internal guidance system. Okay? It's your body that's responding to everyone and everything around you. Because we're so disconnected with our intuition in our heart that we're so confused by that. It's like, but your body is like sending off so many alarms. Okay. And that's because we have been taught to blame, to shame, to judge, to fear. The gossiping, that's a huge one. What are you saying to the people, about the people around you? What are you saying about them? Okay? Because you're in control of you. You're not in control of them. And if you're trying to fix somebody else, or if you are judging somebody else, could be the subtlest judgment as well. That emits an energy. And then when you're around people or you're in an environment and you're like, I'm feeling something here. My body is responding to something here. My body is responding, but I don't get it. And that's why there's so much confusion. That's why we're feeling so helpless and out of control in our own lives when we have the answers the whole time. The whole time. All right. What are we saying about our trauma? How much control are you giving it? I go into this quite extensively in the methods to release all the stories and the trauma that are literally front and center in many of the collectives right now. All right. And your heart is begging you to say, look at me. This is where the stories will come in that will say, she did this to me. I am this way. I will not change. I am too broken because this happened to me. Okay, so you've set the you've set the script for your life stage. You've set the script. It's not this trauma, it's not the scenarios. It's we are able to get back into that. But we got to check in with ourselves. We can follow all the you can follow all the recommendations out there. But if you are not checking in with yourself after these discussions or after these interactions, you're going to go to bed with that shitty committee full force. Full force. And then these low vibes, they sit in your field. And that fear comes in. And the fear is ego, right? That ego and fear, they dance very well together. And so when I have a client that comes in and says, you know, good luck with me, I fuck everything up and they really sit in their shit. That comes from a place of fear. That comes from a place of fear. And the ego says, first of all, I'm going to set my boundary or my wall up now. So when I fail at what you're going to recommend, we know why. Because I'm too broken. Too much shit has happened to me. I'm going to tell you that is a false belief. I understand why it's there. And I hold space for that. And we definitely go right into this within Revival. But I don't let it control Turnleaf, I'll tell you that much. And a lot of times fear and the ego is many times is controlling your life. All right. And that's why you're feeling sick and disconnected. Okay. So when you surrender to the fact that you are able to actually connect with yourself, when you surrender and say, you know what, I'm going to trust my intuition. I'm going to trust how I'm feeling. I'm scared. I am in victim consciousness. I do blame others. And stories like really it's not easy, but look in the mirror, pen and paper, light a candle if you need to around this, and start taking responsibility for your shit. And start recognizing that when you do give these stories a stage, a front, a nice role on your life stage, you're backstage. If you think of your life as a stage, and all these stories are playing out front and center, where are you in this? Where are you in this? Okay. And when you are able to tap into your heart, literally shifting right down and saying, all right, what do I need to hear? What do I need to see? Oh, wow, I've been in victim consciousness for quite some time. I've been allowing my narrative and my stories to have a place in today. And I'm not happy. I am miserable. And that's not a bad thing. When you say wow, holy shit, I'm miserable. I am numb. I am disconnected. I even literally just seen a little light go off there. And it wasn't the sun, I promise. We're pretty cloudy today. But it was an aha for me to say, that is awareness. Because now you get to start bringing yourself into your life and quieting all the background noise. Your background noise is the people is the trauma. If you want to continue in the drama, all right, and you want to continue in this field of anxiety and judgment and blaming others, fear, gossip, the drama, guess what you're going to continue to get? You're going to continue to get that trauma. Drama equals trauma. All right. I know, I bring it up, but I do it, and I cleared the space energetically before I started this. And I'm doing it because I love you, and I love the collective, and I see so many people hurting, and I see people hurting each other, and I see beautiful families within my clients, and they're beautiful, and my friends and family, my own life, we're all in this together. And I see them hurting one another by judging and shaming. And what that ultimately does is it says that you're kind of out of control of your own life, and you're feeling out of control. You're not feeling safe. You're not feeling protected. Tap into your heart. And that's what I did before I came on today. And I do have my rose quartz here. And this emits the heart chakra, the heart energy. And my love sometimes is tough. I say the tough things. According to others, I don't see it because I feel like I've kind of always, that's been my authentic self. And, I say things or respond to things that some people kind of like, as if she's just said that, but they're thinking it. But it's because I love you guys. And when I see people do and say things that is ultimately hurting them, I like to ask questions or summarize what I've seen and ask them to take a peek at it. Ask them what they think about it. And so, and talk about that quantum energy is people do gravitate and want me to hear their stories. They want me to, because they know that I love them. They know there's no judgment. They feel that. So I say one thing, but you can also feel that it's coming from my heart. And when it's coming from the heart, that's the tough love. I can't change others, although I'm recommending, yes, but if they are going to do, ultimately, we need to fall in the shit sometimes. And then I stand back and there's no judgment, there's no blame, I send love, because that is outside of myself. We can't change others. And when I give a minute and I step back and say, this is their choice, you have free will. Okay. We need to fall sometimes in order for us to see these opportunities. When you are triggered, when the triggers come up and you're sitting in the shit, your face is full of shit. Like you're rolling around in the muck here. You've fallen and it's dirty. You need to, it's an opportunity for you to say, I've been here before. What am I doing? Me. Where am I sitting in my feelings? Where am I sitting in this energetic field? What energy do I emit? And it's an opportunity for you to reflect, and it's an opportunity for you to start healing, start connecting. And once you are connected with yourself, that feeling of numbness is going to be in the back. That's going to be in the backstage. You'll be front and center. All right. I know I went over 10 minutes today. I knew I was going to. I just kind of sat with it last night and I said, I'm not done. The conversation would change. I'm not done with it. So it, you know, because yes, we change. Obviously, it's evolution. But something else was coming up for you, and I shared that today. And I hope you felt my heart today, and I'm hoping that you can take some time to connect with your heart. And if you're really feeling numb, if you're really feeling disconnected and anxious, and your people around you are shifting and changing, and you're feeling really out of control with that, get into nature. It's free, okay? Nature's free, and it's tapping into yourself. That's heart-centered. Gaia is heart. Gaia's Mother Earth. So she is heart. She loves. She doesn't judge. When you ground yourself within her, connect with her, you're ultimately connecting with you, tapping into you, and then being able to base your decisions, your life decisions, on that guidance system, that internal guidance system, not external. There is a difference. All right, I'm going to leave you with that today. And my heart is very open today, and I asked for it to completely come online. I like to think that I'm always leading from my heart. But today I set the intention to lead with my heart today, because I don't feel like many of us are doing that, because we're so up here trying to figure it all out and trying to please everybody else. Okay, it's you that matters. Ultimately, lead with your heart, not with the head and ego. All right, bye for now, and I'll see you tomorrow. Sending all the light and all the love.